Good morning, my name is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and today I'm going to show you how to make a copper wire Zen garden rake. And this is one here, and I do make little Zen gardens, and I like to provide a rake to my customers when I make the gardens. So I came up with this design. And I'm using beading wire or craft wire. I get this from the bead shop. I'll put a source for their website on the video description down below the video. Down there there'll also be a tool and supply list, and so you can find things that you want. This is copper wire. It comes in a spool. It's 10 yards, 18 gauge wire. It's roughly 650, and it's what I usually use for the rakes. And as far as tools go, we're going to be using some regular needle-nose pliers. You can get these at like a hardware store. We're going to be using round nose beading pliers. They're round here and they're smooth, and that they just don't mar the wire very easily, and they come in handy. And then we're going to be using some wire cutters, and these two cost roughly $10 at the bead shop. So just so you have an idea of what they cost. And you can actually get away with other types of tools too. So another thing we're going to be using is a butter knife, and I'll show you how we'll use that. And we're going to use the end of a paintbrush handle. This was a paintbrush, but the paintbrush end broke off. But I use these. I frequently use these in my sculpting. So we're going to need that, and then also a measuring tape, and then finally we're going to need a hammer, some kind of hammer. This is a little jeweler's hammer that I've got here in my left hand, and this is just a household type hammer. So we can use either or. And so we'll get started. So what I do first is I take my measuring tape and bring it out 20 inches, because that's the length of the wire we'll need. And then I take a strand of wire and measure out 20 inches. Like that. Set that aside, and I'll just take my wire cutters and cut those. Now what I'll do is I'll fold this. I won't fold it completely, but just bring both the ends together like that to give me an idea where halfway point is, and then I'll just put my thumb there. The next thing is using the butter knife as a guide. What I'll do is I'll press the wire against it and bend it over it like that, so it looks like that. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the wire up to the edge like that of the side of the knife, and hold my finger there and bend it again like that. And then I'm going to turn it so it's on the same plane as the other wire. Now I'm going to put my knife here again, and I'm going to, let me put this side so you can see it. I'm going to hold it to the edge again, like that, And basically what I'm doing here is I'm using the knife as a guide so that all the tines are going to be the same length. So then we've got, basically this is 2 tines. They're not finished yet, but that's, you can see they're pretty much beside each other. I'm going to put this, the knife there, I'm going to put the wire on it so it's right on the edge of the, basically where the tines are going to be, and bend it again. And then turn it so that it looks like that. And then I'm going to hold it again to the edge right here and bend it one more time, and this is, so that will give me 3 tines. It's the best way to get the tines to all be about the same length, and I've actually played with this quite a bit, trying to figure out what would work the best, and that seems to work the best. Now you can use your round nose beading pliers to squeeze the tines. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put it on the tine there and squeeze it. Part of the reason why I want to use the beading pliers is because it doesn't, it won't scratch the wire. But you also can use needle nose pliers, and sometimes they work better. It just depends on what's good for you. And you want to squeeze the wire so it becomes tight there, because remember, these are tines, rake tines, so it's kind of important that they be together like that. Okay, so then I turn it this way so that the tines are going that way, and that just depends on whether or not you're left-handed or right-handed. I'm going to use the beading pliers again. I'm going to bend the wire here like that, and this one like that, so it looks like this now. And then I'm going to hold the wires at about center where they cross there, and I'm going to twist it just once like that. Now I'm going to take the paintbrush handle, holding it like this. I'm going to wrap the wire around it, but I want to tell you first, if you wrap it fairly tight where the spirals are close together, your handle will be shorter than if you were to spread it out. And I have found that the 18 gauge copper wire wrapped again around the handle is strong. I mean, you're probably not going to have to need it. You're not going to need it stronger to rake sand. It shouldn't be a problem. So whatever you like. If you want a longer handle, then you wrap it looser. If you want a shorter handle, you wrap it tighter. So you just hold the rake to the handle and then just wrap it. It is, I have found, difficult to change the direction or change the distance between the strands where you're wire wrapping. It's difficult to maybe stretch it out and make it longer later. That's why I'm telling you, in advance. And then what I do is when I get to about maybe a ½ inch to an inch, I stop going up the handle, and I just want to wrap it around a couple times like that and just terminate it there. Now I want to wrap this wire going the other way. That's going to give it a nice strong handle by doing that. And then I'll wrap that around a couple times, but I want to leave a few inches here, and that's going to be for the spiral we're going to put on it. And then I just slide it off the handle like that. Next, I'll wrap it one more time so it's fairly tight like that, and then kind of pull it out and stretch it out a little bit like that. Now I'm going to put a spiral on it. And what I do to do that is I take these little beading pliers, and they come really in handy for this. This is really a good thing to have at this point. And I'll do like a little spiral like this. Just wrap it around, and then I'll let go, and I'll basically just slowly roll it. Slowly rolling it. Just holding it gently. I want to adjust that wire there a little bit in the center. So I'll hold on to it and then just twist it back. And then I'll just grab a hold of it again and turn my wrist. There is some movement in my left hand to create that spiral, but this is going to be something that's going to be like a little bit of practice. The thing is, the wire is inexpensive and it's easy to obtain, so it's really easy to practice this and get better at it. If you're new to this, you haven't handled tools that much, you haven't done anything like this before, you definitely can get better at it. The first time it might be a little bit rough, but after that it'll start to improve. So don't worry about that. And then I'll bring it down to about there, and I'll just bend it back a little bit so it kind of comes out the end of the handle like that. And then for this end here, I prefer to use the regular needle nose pliers. I take it to put the pliers on the tine, leaving about 1/8 of an inch, and then I bend it. And this is to make the rake. It's also better in some ways to grab it this way and bend it. Just trying to make it all the same length. And then here you can adjust the tines to be the same distance apart. You might have to bend them a little bit, but it really usually doesn't take much, moving around to get it where you need it. And then finally what we do is we take, you need a hard surface for this. I use the hammer as an anvil. It's basically an anvil. That's what I'm going to do. And what I do is I put the copper wire on the side of the handle here and just hammer it. It doesn't really take that long. But the look, I think, is just gorgeous. It's like this very natural filigree, you know, hammered with hammered marks in it, and it changes the appearance of the wire, and it just is gorgeous. I make jewelry like this, and I make bookmarks like this as well, and I'll probably be doing a video on the bookmarks pretty soon. So once you get it to that point, you can just bend it or shape it however you like. It's very sturdy. I mean, it's going to be fine for raking, for sure. And copper has its own good energies, for sure, and it's pretty. But you could use other wire. You could use the bead shop, and so in Tacoma Park has a lot of different color wires and stuff, so you could definitely use that. And that's basically how that works. And I make these rakes, and whenever I sell a garden, I just make them for my customers so that they, you know, they can play in the sand, draw in the sand. They do come in different lengths, of course, and that's, you know, you want to adjust how you wrap it around the paintbrush to get the length you want. And so if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel, and I do a lot of videos about all kinds of sculpture and wire, polymer clay, regular clay. And please give me a thumbs up, let me know you liked the video, and feel free to leave a comment. Please keep in mind also that I do make things for people, and please visit my art shop, and I'll put the address on the end of the video. Again, go to the video description for a tool and supply list, and the website address for the bead shop in Tacoma Park, Maryland. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.